Bailey Pickles, I'm so excited to see you again.
Thanks so much for having me.
This is very cool. We obviously met a couple of years ago.
Well, I remember the last interview we did. My principal sent it to all the staff.
As you know, I'm a massive fan of you, and I loved that interview so much because of the way you speak about music. What are you doing now? I'm
writing the music for Vivid this year. Probably the coolest thing that's ever happened to me up until this point.
You reckon?
Oh, it's crazy.
No, well, I'm wondering because I've seen cool things happening for you. So it is, don't get me wrong, that Vivid thing is going to be amazing, and I really want to unpack that with you. But you seem to have also met some pretty phenomenal people. I think I read some statistic about 130 million views.
Yeah.
There's big stuff. In 3 years, you've done a whole heap, still in your passion. So you're in school when we met?
That was a crazy time because obviously we just kind of started posting all of the videos on TikTok, and it kind of instantly went crazy.
Yeah.
For all the playing by ear sort of videos.
Yeah.
And I've continued that pretty much since we last spoke, like just in different variations and working with other artists.
Got invited to play an unreleased track for a very famous artist.
What's up? All right. Thanks for having me. You're so lucky. She lets you know her heart.
If you sing me a note and tell me that's a C, then if you sing another note, I'll be able to tell you straight away what that is by calculating where that is. The relative pitch is basically saying if that's that note, then I'll be able to find the other note really fast, like, and then I'll learn that progression and I'll play it back.
There are some pretty cool people in the videos with you. I've obviously got a favourite that I've watched, but tell me about how you went about reaching out to some of those people that you worked with and how it all happened.
Yeah, so a friend of mine that I was speaking to had this idea. He said, look, you've got these videos, and he said, they're great. What if you brought other artists into the situation? You like visit their studio or get invited to their studio. So that's what I did. I reached out to this artist called Charley, and she's incredible. She's local, and she just recently had a song that went big on TikTok. So I was like, okay, this is a good starting point.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I'll reach out to her, and I think we were already kind of friends at that point, and I said to her, hey, I'd love to do a video with you. I have this video idea. It's not mine, but I have a video idea. Do you reckon you'd be down? And she said, yes, let's do it. So we organised a space with a piano, and we recorded this video. Mum came and Mum was filming. She's been filming a lot of my videos.
Yes.
And she's amazing. And we filmed this video. I posted it on TikTok, and then I went to my Instagram and I said, guys, this is the first of this idea that I have, this series. I need you to help me blow it up because I think it's going to be really big. And this is, if we can get this one to blow up, then I know that other artists are going to start reaching out, you know?
If it's the right video that I've seen, she gets quite emotional about it. Is that that one?
Yeah.
And so it must be for an artist quite a nice feeling having that as well. But it is, I would imagine, a high compliment to...
It's very personal. I haven't played it before, so I sit down and I work out on the spot. I play my own version back to them, and then they join in and start singing. So... like that was really moving for me, just that experience, like singing, like just playing and hearing her sing to that song because I knew the backstory already. Universal Music, the record label, reached out to me and said, hey, like we saw this video you did with Charley. She's one of our artists. Do you reckon you could do a video with Dermot Kennedy?
Okay.
And just previously that day I was chatting to some, I was marking some songs for a charity competition on a board that day. And I was talking to somebody and they were explaining how much they loved Dermot Kennedy. Yeah. They were like Dermot Kennedy's my favourite artist, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, we went and sat back down and we're marking these songs, and I get an email. I look at my phone and it said, hi Bailey, I'm from Universal. Do you want to do a video with Dermot Kennedy?
Wow.
And I was like, what? Like, yeah, I obviously said yes. And we did a video together. And that was the next one. That blew up as well. So then Universal was just like, okay, like, can you please do this artist? Can you please do this artist? And we've built like a great relationship now. And that's where most of those videos come from, like the Becky Hill and the James Bay. And
yeah, I mean, that James Bay, thank you. Yes, I'm a big fan.
1, 2. Come on, let it go. Just let
We just did Delta Goodrem, and Sam Fisher as well, who's an incredible artist from London.
So I'm really hoping you and Imagine Dragons get together at some stage.
That'd be
I've
cool.
seen
That'd be
that.
very
That's
cool.
very
Yeah.
cool with your friend as well on the violin.
Yeah.
But it is really amazing to kind of hear things. We see the really produced version of things, right? You have this real ability to bring it back to you sitting at a piano. I think that's really powerful. Music industry people are coming to you and saying this is great. I think it's fair to say there's fame, Bailey. So how are you balancing that for yourself and still, you know, keeping to who you are from where you started with your music?
I mean, what helps is that it's just Mum and I, you know? It's like, it's not like this massive production. Like it might look like that, but oftentimes it's like we arrive at Universal. We greet the Universal people, and I sit down at the piano, warm up, and they bring in this entourage of this black car, like big black van arrives at the front, and then like 8 people come out of it, and there's the artist, you know? Yeah, it's nice just being Mum and I, because it's really grounding just to have your parents. So it's just having my parents be the people that are filming. And sometimes my mate, if my parents can't do it, I call up one of my best mates and say, hey, do you reckon you could come and film this video for me?
You are incredibly grounded. You know, I think we should encourage young people in whatever the success looks like for them to sit in that success and be really proud, right? Because, you know, certainly in my job and other jobs, we talk a lot about young people in their absence. Yeah. But isn't it amazing when you get to sit with a young person and hear about their achievements and to recognise that? And I think the music industry appears hard enough as it is. So being a young person in the music industry with success could be really hard.
At the moment, it's nice and smooth sailing. I'm obviously doing uni and all that. So like the people that I have in my videos are also my friends. Like I'm doing this Vivid project, and I could have done that by myself and all on my own, but I brought in my friends so that they could be a part of it as well and play with me, because like there's some really talented people in Sydney, and I think they need to be heard as well. And I think like I've got a 17-year-old mate who just shreds on guitar. He's absolutely incredible, and I think having him in Vivid hopefully will help push his career as well. And Hugo, my mate, as well on violin, he's obviously insane. So I think it's just keeping your friends a part of it and having them, and not just taking it all for myself or whatever.
Now, Hugo and you recently won an award, and you won an award with a somewhat controversial music group called ONEFOUR.
Yep.
So tell me...
They're brilliant, by the way.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Tell me about how that collaboration happened.
So it's one of those ones where like, I think people were very shocked when it happened, because it was like, you would think like, how does it fit together? Like, you know, they're obviously, ONEFOUR is a very rap and drill group. Yeah. And Hugo and I were, you know, I was a white kid, and you know, it's like I didn't really even belong, and didn't fit, like it didn't match. How it worked is Ricky, their manager, he's really, really brilliant. I met him at one event that Mum booked me in for. She said, Bailey, you should go to this industry event. And there was this one guy sitting right at the back table in the corner. So I walked up to him, we started talking, and he instantly started asking questions, like really inquisitive person. So he eventually said to me, hey, would you be interested in coming and doing some piano for ONEFOUR? And I was kind of secretly waiting for that moment to happen. Because my brother loved ONEFOUR.
Okay.
So when that happened, I was like, yes, this is going to be cool. So I went in there and I recorded some music for their songs. Yeah. And then they said, let's create a track from scratch. This is JM's, the main guy. Yeah. Brilliant. Really, really brilliant guy. Switched on. And he said, the producer, bring up a loop. And we'll write something at the top of it. I said, no, is it all right if I come up with a loop? Like just give me like a couple minutes, we'll try something. If it doesn't work, we can use his loop. Yeah. So I sat down at the piano, I played something, and on the third thing, they all started dancing. And that's what the loop ended up being. Like I was watching them through the glass. There was like 7 or 8 like big guys all dancing to this loop. So they picked that one, and they recorded it, and within 4 hours, they had the whole thing done. Like they're that talented. It just fell out of him. And it was started off as mumbles, like it was and he'd have some words in there, and he said run it back, and then next time he sung it, he'd have a few more of the words in the track, and then this track just started like
Have
just
they ever
evolving.
had piano feature that much in any of their songs before?
No.
Yeah, that's
no,
pretty cool.
it's normally like
Yeah.
all that style of music.
Yeah.
So this was very different to what they normally went with, but they just ran with it. They were just excited to try something new, and
you won an award.
and we won an award, which
What
was
award did
not
you win?
expected, but it's the APRA Award, so it's basically celebrating songwriters, and we all won the award, which is good. Like we all got one of the awards with their names on it.
Oh,
so
that's so good.
yeah, it's pretty good.
Good.
Yes.
They should fund extra awards for everyone. Everyone's
it was
involved.
amazing. Yeah.
Everyone gets a prize. I
Yeah,
like that.
it was very good.
And such a cool combination, right? Such completely different
Yeah.
artists,
And
completely
genres.
different backgrounds
Yeah.
coming together, proving that
Yeah.
good humans
Exactly.
can get along.
Good people. They're
Good
they're
people.
genuinely really good, great charactered people. What I loved about it is like Hugo and I got in there, and because they have a reputation for being that drill group. You know, they're quite big guys. Like we got into the studio and we didn't know like what our place was. We kind of just sat and listened for a bit, but they have been so genuinely kind to us. It was perfect. Like through music, we could communicate with each other. Like the happiness that was coming off everybody in that room when we were creating that piece of music is that like something that you just can't forget. It stays with you. I think music is their way of dealing with everything that they've been through in their past. And yeah, just working with them, we got to see a side of them that most people probably don't get to see.
There's something in that in terms of a lot of assumptions that you can make about people without knowing people. And as you know, in our work, we prefer to sit with people and learn from people. So there's such a beautiful message in that. So how did Vivid come about? Like it is one of the biggest things for Sydney. It's on the bridge, it's on the Opera House, it is massive.
Yeah.
How did you get that gig? Is there a tender? How does it work?
So the guy that owns Mandy Lights, who runs Vivid, he followed me on TikTok, and so he'd seen my music, and he reached out and said, "Hey Bailey, would you be interested in doing Vivid this year? Like I follow you, blah blah blah." I said, I left it for a day, just to be a cool person, not to text back and be like, "I'd love to do Vivid."
Great, excellent.
And I sent an email back. I said, like, this would be an incredible opportunity. I obviously told Mum straight away and Dad and Dan. And I'd love to be a part of it because we used to go every year as kids. Like it's the thing that you did. It was not just a wow, like they've asked me to write the music for Vivid. It was also a sentimental thing as well. Like it was really, like it was a cool kind of full circle kind of moment. Yeah, he reached out. He said, we'd love you to write 10 minutes of music for Vivid. And we're going to loop it through the whole 3 weeks of Vivid. The music is going to be, we're going to sync the lights of the Harbour Bridge and then 20 or so of the other main buildings like Shangri-La and all of that across the front of the harbour. And then 150 searchlights. The city's going to be dancing.
Oh, Bailey, I'm emotional for you. This is such a cool thing.
It's really crazy. I got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, you should. Yeah. And then how do you start the process of writing it?
Because I was so excited about it, as soon as I got the news, I started writing. So I wrote 2 minutes in an afternoon, and that was like I was so happy with that 2 minutes. I showed obviously my family, and they loved it. Dad, like when I showed Dad in the car, he was like his whole body was moving. He was like that was such a cool moment as well because the theme for this year is humanity.
Oh yeah.
So if people can feel like they want to dance and the music makes them happy and all the lights are going to be dancing as well, I think that it's going to be such a cool experience, and I think it's better than just like a boring score. There's going to be lots of life in it, and that's why that's why I brought Hugo and Ben on it, because they're young talent in Sydney and they're incredible at their instrument and they can bring music to life. All my success on TikTok so far, I've brought my friends with me, and I think that's why it's been so successful, because it's not just me, trying to show off or whatever. It's me and my mate having fun playing music, and so I wanted just to continue that.
So Bailey Pickles, what is next for you? What are you going to be doing next?
I plan on doing more videos with those with artists.
Yeah.
So we got a trip planned mid-year going to London.
Yeah.
So that's very exciting. I'm going with Mum.
Yes.
So she'll be filming, and in terms of uni, I'm in third year still, so I've got 4 years of uni all up. So I'm more than halfway. So
Yeah,
that's
you
good.
are. Mm-hmm.
But I definitely want to finish that. In terms of where I want to go, I'd love to venture, what we said before, into like film music. I think like I studied that back in the day, and then I stopped doing it for a bit, and I started doing a bit more songs and more pop kind of music stuff. But I feel like that's where my love is. Like I love that style of music. So who knows?
Well, in 3 years, Bailey Pickles, you have done so much.
Thanks so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, as I said, ACYP are fans. I'm a fan. And I think we'll all be going to Vivid to support that.
Amazing, thank you.
And your friends. And how kind of you to bring everyone on the journey with you.
I think there's no point in me doing it just by myself. We get to share that success together. I think it makes more sense. So.
And surely it's better to go together than go alone.
That's right. That's it.
Thanks so much, Bailey Pickles.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh my God.